Welcome back to this week's video. This is the June one for our Enchanted Forest series. So this week we're going to have a go at this one. It's a little bit more fiddly if you're new to it, but it's still doable. And so what we're doing is we're going to do this one where we went to visit the mouse in the last month, and the mouse very kindly offered us a bed overnight because it was getting late and he appreciated how far we'd walked to meet him. So this is the little room that the mouse has offered us to sleep in overnight in the Enchanted Forest. So before we can go to bed, we best make the picture. So here we are, let's get on with it and I'll show you how it's done. Now at the time of doing this video for you, I can't find my original picture. So if there isn't a link straight away, bear with me and I will redraw the basics for you and I'll put it up. So if it's not here when you come to look for it now, come back and it will be. I'll just need to redraw it for you. So what we're doing to start with is we're going to do the night sky through the window. So we're going to have some, in the little window here it's quite dark blue, and then I've gone over it with the lighter blue that I did for the other window. And now we're going to make it even lighter, so that's still a darkish blue that's outlined that arched window. And now we're just putting in some slightly lighter blue. We're just going to blend that in with the other one because this is going to have the moonlight. And don't forget to fill in your two little windows over in that corner as well. And then we're going to mix what we had, that blue, with some white, and we're just putting it in here so that we have some moonlit light for the moon here. And we've just popped in a little moon, and that's just done in white. Now here in the background I've literally used black here because this is going to be the very distance and I'm not worried about it, it's a silhouette. So we're going to put the black in, and then if you look, I'm sorry it's going so quickly but there was a lot to do, then I'm just putting some pine trees, so they're just the outlines, they're just not the outlines, the silhouette. So we just want some pokey up bits to look like distant trees there. There you go. There's nothing too complicated with that. And now we're going to fill in, because it's closer to the window, we're going to fill in nearer the window with some green. So this is going to be some more trees and bushes outside the window. So we've got some lighter, and then we're putting darker here on the edges where the moonlight won't catch it. But you have a little light from the window inside, so that's going to be what's shining out there. But it's still obviously going to be darker. And then you can put a little few green trees poking up as well, but not too bright. So I'm just filling in some different coloured greens here. Now all this is a very dark brown, or you could use black if you want to, and I'm filling these bits in because I'm going to put some brickwork in and things, and this is the background for the shading. So this is just all shading that I'm putting in now, and then we'll mainly put things over the top of it. But a black or a black mixed with the dark blue, which actually might be nicer rather than a harsh black, just for all the bits you can see me filling in there. As I say, because we're going to put stuff over the top of it, so this is just background. So don't worry about it looking really heavy. I did have to speed through it because this picture took me about 10 hours to do. Obviously you don't have to make it as complicated as what I'm doing if you want to have a go at it. Now this is going to be the window frame, so I've just taken some brown. If you've got a brown with more than one colour brown in, that's great. Or you could mix a bit together. And as you saw, I twisted it so that we've got sort of a woody look to it. And I'm just building up this little archway window. But if it's all one solid brown, that's fine. It wants to be a medium brown because you're going to add some light over it in a minute. And here I've taken a dark brown and I'm just going up in places to make it look like it's wrinkled and twisted. So I'm just adding a few of the dark lines just around it a little bit, as you see. Now here I've mixed beige with some brown or some grey, whatever you like I do my other stones, and these are more beigey than the grey ones I normally do, and I'm just building up stones. So you mix a little pile of beige and grey and just pull bits off and make it into stone shapes, and then just pop those on And if you need a better definition, then carry on and add some more of that dark back to draw the stone shapes. And up here I've made it a little darker because that's in more shade. It's not getting any of the moonlight on. So I've just added a bit more dark brown to these stones here. But you don't want them all the same, so as you can see mine are all slightly different shades and colours, and they've got little extra bits of stuff in. Stuff, that was technical, wasn't it? Extra bits of colour. But you can take this basic idea, you don't have to take the drawing once I've found it or drawn it. You could take this idea and make something up for yourself and just use these elements in it. So here I'm just putting stones right around the window. Now as you can see, the stones are all just slightly different colours. And we're going to do the same thing for along the bottom here as we did around the rest of the window. We're putting in a little windowsill. So we have a slightly darker bit there, and we will go back and put a little bit of lighter windowsill above it. There we go, look. This is just a light beige, sandy colour, something like that. This is just where the moonlight's catching the windowsill. And obviously because the moonlight's shining straight out the window, some of the edges on the outside will have a little bit of lighter colour as well. Don't want too much, just a hint. Now when it comes, we haven't got to that bit yet, but when it comes to the stonework inside the window frame, or the woodwork, which we're doing now, if you have a look at maybe some church windows, something like that, and see if there's a pattern or a design that you like, and you can put a different one on here. I kind of made this one up as I went along, but there are some lovely windows out there, so you could find one that you like and then put that on it. And as you see, I'm twisting it because I want it a nice defined line. And now again, this bit here I'm putting on is just back in that dark colour, whether you've got a black or a blue black, something like that. Because what I had in mind was that stone that you can see there is obviously coming out from the window, and then I'm going to put another row of stones in next to it, but I wanted them to look like they were coming away, so it was like a little divider wall. I'm not sure I actually got that in the end, but I'm not too worried about it. And then I just added a little bit dark on the stones just on the edge. So this is me making some new stones up for the other bit, which will be the divider wall. But I do exactly the same thing. I just grab some colour that I've mixed, and I say it doesn't matter what's in it, and whether you've got a big blob of extra brown or something, it makes no difference. Just pop it down. The more variation really, the better. And then what I've done here, because the ends of those bricks, which is what I'm putting brown on now, I've tried to darken down a little bit more. I probably could have darkened them a bit more still, really, but never mind. It still looks nice. And again, I'm just using the dark colour, whatever dark colour you've got. You can use just dark brown to go between the bricks if you want to. Between the stones, I should say, really. And we mustn't forget these little windows around the corner. Don't make those too light. You want just a hint, really, of a window frame here, because it's in shadows, this one. There's not really any light apart from what you get from outside really hitting these windows. But you need something to give it a frame. And now I'm doing my usual tree thing. I've taken a dark brown because I'm going to put some extra on it in a minute. Wind it up and just pull it up, and I like to split my wood like that and make extra branches out of it. You want to imagine that this tree has grown in this little room, and it's kind of weaving its way up to the roof, up to the ceiling, where it's going to have a lovely leafy canopy over the bed. So these are just the main big branches that you would see. And this bit here that I'm mixing all different colours for is what I'm going to put in front of it. It's going to be the bit that's catching the light. It's all one tree, it's just going to look a bit more so you've got a really dark shady bit, and then you've got this light bit, and again I'm twisting it because it gives a much better look to the little tree. But as I said before, just take elements of this and you can make your own picture. If I haven't managed to do the drawing, it's just an idea really. Now I wanted to put a little extra light here because I thought it would be nice to pick that out a little bit more. I'm sure somewhere in the room there's a little candle somewhere, but I hadn't decided where to put it, so I never actually showed it. And again, now I'm taking this slightly darker brown and I'm just going up the back of this tree, and it's going over the very dark bit and over the lighter goldy bits just a bit so they blend together. And we're back to adding the similar thing on this tree, some little bits going up it to make it look more like bark and twisted. So we're just going to add some extra little branches and some extra colour, but we don't want this obviously on the branches that wind away from the window. We don't want those to have so much highlight on. So I'm just defining them a little bit with this colour, just picking it out really. And I'm going to pop another one at the end of the bed here, but it's going to go off in the other direction a bit more. It's the same thing. As I say, I do like to twist it and I like to separate it off like that. And this is nice because it pushes those two little windows further back, it gives something in front of it to add a little bit of depth to that area. And then I realised I hadn't put in the other window, because that one in the background really is another like archway, a sort of arched window, and I've forgotten to put it in. So here, because I'm going to have a mossy ceiling, part of the ceiling is going to be mossy, I'm just adding some mixed green here. I'm not doing any like special definition things or anything. I'm literally just blobbing in a large quantity of this green moss. It's quite a bright one. I wanted it quite bright on this bit. So now we're moving on to making the bed. So this bit it's not bright white, but because again, if you start off with your lightest colour, you can't then add any highlight to it. So this is sort of a medium white. It's not really a grey. It's just a it's kind of just a dull white. You can take white and add a touch of grey to it and take it down a little bit. And then this is a shadowy bit, so this is going to be a bit darker grey here. This is the side of the mattress. I'm going to work some dark in, as you see, around the pillow here, because it wouldn't really have any light at all, so we want to make that area quite dark. But we will go back and fiddle a bit more with that area in a minute. All I'm doing here is more or less just marking out where the pillows are. And then I'm taking the same colour that I've done the sheet with, and I'm starting to build up the couple of pillows. We will add a bit more colour to the pillows yet, a bit more highlight and shade, but I'm really just drawing in a pillow shape, and then I'll go back and fill it in. So I'll fill it in with the basic colour, and then where the moonlight would catch it in a minute here, I start to add just a little bit of lighter. You can go up to white if you want to, but you want to add a little bit of lighter, and then like here where the pillow curls under, I've gone back to using dark. And then where the two pillows dip in the middle, because you have an extra pillow, you need a little bit of shadow there as well, just so you separate the pillows off from each other. So I am going over the line I drew, but that's fine, because I really just need a little shadow there. I don't need a harsh line. So I'm putting some lighter colour in where the moonlight would hit the blanket, the sheet. And a little bit of shadow. This shadow is not as harsh now. This is more done in like a medium brown. I tried to put some creases in for the pillow there. And now we're going to start on the headboard. That's the word, bedhead. That's what I get up with. With the headboard. So this is just like a golden brown, really. I've mixed 2 or 3 browns in with the gold brown. Again, just so it's got some variety in it. And then really it's just drawing out a headboard. And we'll pop in a little bit of darker brown up where the shadow, where the light wouldn't hit the headboard. And I think I take a little light beige and I put it just along the top of the uprights of the headboard, but we'll see that in a minute. And obviously I need to carry the headboard down beyond the pillow there. This is what I'm doing now, but it's with some dark brown and some shadowy colour. And then this is just the other upright. But you can design any headboard you like. You can get as elaborate as you want to. And I'm just using my needle very carefully there, just to break up the edge of the moss a bit. This is me now just adding a little bit of that window highlight just along the top of the bedboard there. And just, did you see that, just on the top of the ends? And now we have to put some of the frame on, the side frame for the bed now. Because it's all magical, but you really don't want your mattress floating. And this is actually the same brown I mixed for the headboard, but I've added an extra dark brown into it. Now up here, we're putting in some bluier green. I don't want a bright green because this is more shadowy. And we will go and put other bits on top of that later on. But if you've got a blue and a green, just mix them together. And hopefully you'll end up with something similar to this. And as you can see there, I'm starting to blob bits in and out. so I will blob darker bits to look like shadowy areas of leaves and things into that dark green. And although you can't see it very well, I just added a little bit of extra green there. And now we're doing exactly the same thing around this window. We're just going to give it a window frame. What I didn't do on this window, and I think I'm going to go back and do it, is add some cross struts, like window pane bits in it. I don't know why I didn't add it. I think I just forgot. But you could leave it as it is, or you could add some little window panes in it. So I put the dark brown in, and then I'm just putting a tiny bit of lighter colour there where I'm kind of envisioning a tree outside the window, and then you can just see a little bit of the blue sky past the tree. So now we want to start working on this area and start putting some dark green accents in the background. So I'm putting in the same green that we mixed, the blue green at the top. I'm just putting in what would look like some leaves in the background there. I hope you can see them okay, because I want to have some greenery at this side as well. And now we're going to make the mossy blanket. I'm not convinced I'd want to sleep under a blanket of moss, because I have a feeling moss is quite damp. But it's a magical bed, so obviously it won't be damp. So all we're doing here is just, we've got some more of that lighter green, and I'm not worried how it lands, how I've mixed it, and you can see I've got extra light bits and whatever, and it's fine. I've just popped it over as it is. And then I've taken a darker green. This isn't the blue green, this is just a darker green, and we're just filling in the shady side of the bed. But all that gets blended together in a minute. I did realise that the bed was gradually walking off the picture, so that's why I've tucked it back a bit more. And as this bit's catching the light from the window, I've made it a little bit brighter still. I'm sorry if you can hear a hum. I think there must be a lorry outside. So this is just a bit of the dark colour, because that's the bit of the moss blanket that's been folded back. So really I'm just playing with the top of this bed now, just to get some like dips and ridges and things like that on it. Not too much, just to give it a little something. And down the side here, this one's a bit dark, and I do go back and lighten this up. I wanted some folds where it had kind of like, it's such a big comfy moss bedspread that it kind of folds in places. There's more bedspread than you need, and it folds all over the bed. When you say it like that, it actually sounds more comfortable than I was initially thinking. Right, so on here, to start with, I hadn't decided what I was going to put around the edge. So this is actually black. I've gone straight for black, and because I thought I was going to outline it in something, so this would just be a shadowy bit, but I didn't like it in the end. I'm just putting some extra flagstones down on the floor now. So it's the same thing as the stones on the wall, really. I'm just making them look a little flatter. And obviously not too bright, because they don't get a lot of light. I wasn't sure what I wanted to put in this corner either. I did wonder about a bedside table and that, but then I decided in the end just to keep it all green. So this is all I'm doing. This is a background green really, and then I'm going to build other green strands and things up over it. But you could put a little bedside table with a candle on, something like that if you wanted to. And we're basically doing the same thing on this side. We're going to build up some greenery over here as well. You have to tell me whether you think that you'd like to sleep in a room like this. What would be your ideal place to have a sleep for the night? I wouldn't mind this, I just think I might rather have a proper blanket, that's all. But I think being able to lie in your bed and look out over the moonlight and the forest would be lovely. So here I'm just adding a few extra bright highlights on things, just to pick them out a little bit. I didn't want to add too much other colour because I wanted to keep it foresty and woodlandy. But we'll add just a touch of colour on the side I'm working on now in a minute. This is just a little bit of extra green again. And now I want to put some brighter leaves on the little plants we put at the front here. So just dot yourself some brighter leaves here and there. Now this is my hint of colour, and all it is I've just used some rust browns really. It's not even so much orange, it is more like a rust brown. I've got a slightly darker one, and then I put a little bit of lighter rust browny colour over the top in a minute. So if you think of this more as the shadowy rusty brown, and then if you've only got the one colour like that, just mix a little yellow with it and add that on in a minute. You'll see what I mean. See, I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a few little bits of highlight, just a bit to pick it out. There you go, you can see now. And this is just some slightly different beigey colours that I wanted a little something there. I'm not really sure what they are. They could be mushrooms. There could be other flowers, I don't really know. And then I've just added a few little bits because I like to tie the picture together, so that you've got a few little bits here and at the other corner. And I do bring in, I don't know if you can see in a minute, oh this is extra shadow down the bed. I do bring in just a hint of blue flowers, but I'll tell you when I do that in case it doesn't show very well. I think this is them. Yeah, just the tiniest little touch. And I've done that because obviously I've got blue in the windows and I wanted just a hint. And now because I didn't like this black, I tried putting all different colours like a white, well a light cream surround and things, and nothing worked. So I decided in the end I would go back over the black with some thinly layered brown, as you can see, and then put some leaves in, as if we're going to have a leafy canopy over the bed. And because I'd done that, I didn't want that harsh line between that dark green and the blacky brown, so I made sure that the leaves some of the leaves come over both parts. And as long you find doing that, as long as you don't use like a really bright green, because you don't really want this dark canopy area to stand out too much. As you can see, it's just got some bits and pieces in it. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this picture. It's a nice one to make. It's a little bit fiddlier, but it's a nice, slightly different one for our story. And if you did, Please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you want to see what's going to carry on with the next parts of this series. And if you like what you're seeing, have a look at the videos on the screen now and see if there's anything else that takes your fancy. And if there is, I will see you there. And if not, I will see you either on Tuesday for the next video or next Friday for the next painting video. Thanks very much for being with me. Nice to see you. See you next time. Bye.